And I'm Whipwee.
Oh, God, and I'm John. Jesus Christ.
And this is Comicsplaining.
So, I made you a cookie, but I bleeded in it.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Kill me.
Pounces on you.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Glomps you.
You know, like, yeah.
Like, yeah.
No. No. No.
Apparently John isn't in on our intro.
I'm gonna go play video games.
John did not approve.
Non-John approved.
This is not John approved.
The Jonix Code Authority should not put a stamp of approval on this.
No approval from the John Code Authority.
More about our thoughts on She-Hulk later, but...
Yeah, that was about She-Hulk, by the way.
If it wasn't completely obvious, that nightmare brought to you by She-Hulk.
I mean, like, obviously.
Duh. What else could we be talking about?
So what are we here to actually talk about? Woo.
Well, the first thing we need to talk about is Tom Palmer.
Yeah, that doesn't fit the tone at all.
No,
it
doesn't.
I'm sad to hear that back on, I believe it was the 18th, Tom Palmer died. Tom Palmer is a longtime comics professional. He did a lot of inking, including several things that we've covered. If you ever want to see some of Tom Palmer's art, go back through the Neil Adams and Roy Thomas run of X-Men. That stuff we've covered that Tom has inked, but we just want to send out our well wishes to the family, and
that definitely didn't fit the mood that we started with.
not at all.
No. So on another completely different note, can you guys tell me what happened last time?
There were the X-Men, and the X-Men had a new team.
No.
Okay.
What happened with Thor the last time?
Oh, yeah. Well, now that I can see it.
Yeah, I remember that. I don't remember the first issue at all, but...
Well, it was the Silver Surfer.
Oh, right, the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, so Loki tried to trick the Silver Surfer into killing Thor.
A really, really, really long Silver Surfer issue.
Yes, Loki tried to trick the Silver Surfer into killing Thor, and it didn't really work.
And he showed up, and then they had dinner.
Yeah.
And then Loki entranced one of Thor's posse or whatever to try and attack the Silver Surfer and be like, "For Thor!" Or what the fuck ever. Yeah, and then the Silver Surfer was mad, but eventually they stopped fighting because the Silver Surfer realized that he was more powerful than usual, so he was being manipulated.
Yeah.
So he stopped doing that, and Loki spat him back out into orbit, and he was like,
He also realized that Thor's too good to be evil.
Thor's too nice.
Yeah, also at some point, Baldur was a dick.
Yeah, well, Loki made him do it.
He was an enchanted dick, to be fair.
Enchanted dick, haha.
Then, Thor got a request for help?
Tana Nile showed back up like,
that's it.
"Hey, we need help. There's something bad going on because Galactus was having the munchies."
As he does.
And he was just going on an absolute snack attack in some sector of the galaxy.
And you know, when most people go on a snack attack, it's fine. But when Galactus does it, billions
die.
Yeah, billions of people die. So
Yeah, so not a great situation.
Yeah, although why he's getting in between Ego and Galactus? Do we care about Ego? Is Ego someone we care about being alive?
We'll see.
So Thor went with the recorder. He didn't go with Tana Nile. He went with the recorder off to make Galactus stop eating everything. And then, but Galactus already was having the munchies against something fierce.
He kind of already ate.
He saw Ego, who is just like a whole planet of living energy, and his stomach grumbled. And then Ego was not necessarily willing to go down without a fight, and I believe that's about the note we left on.
Hence the name. Ego was not just going to sit there and take it.
Yeah, I mean, there was the implication, actually, that Galactus knew about Ego and had been looking for him specifically to eat him.
Okay, but why? Why is this a problem? Do we care about Ego?
Well, because the two of them fighting is going to have a lasting effect on the galaxy around them. And they could have a lot of collateral damage.
They can?
Yeah.
This is a very weird plot.
Also, you don't want to wipe out a naturally occurring species in any area.
Even
true.
if it's Ego, the living
Even
planet.
if it's Ego, the living planet.
Hey,
He
Ego...
cropped up to fill an ecological need in the solar system.
Ego is a little more complicated than you think.
Okay.
I mean, okay, I'll buy that.
I'm willing
Okay.
to accept that.
So yeah, that's what happened. So today we're going to read Thor number 161 from December of 1968, written by Stan Lee, penciled by Jack Kirby, inked by Vince Colletta, and lettered by Sam Rosen. It just says artist instead of penciler.
It's a nice cover for whatever else it's worth. It has a nice cover.
It's got nice depth. It's got
Yeah.
a good movement.
I may have no idea why we're really supposed to care about Galactus eating Ego, but it's a neat cover.
Oh yes, one thing that you did forget is at the end of last issue they got caught in the crossfire and their ship got destroyed, so we
But
left
it's
them
fine.
floating in the middle of space.
But
Oh,
it's
right, yeah.
fine.
And we were wondering if Stan would remember that won't kill them.
Oh no.
I do
So-
remember this now that you've mentioned it.
Oh no.
So,
Stan, did
that
you remember?
said,
Place your bets.
I bet no.
I bet yes. Bet you a buck.
I don't have a buck on me.
Venmo me.
it seems that Thor and the
Ugh.
Recorder have not died after being ejected into the cold vacuum of space,
Dang it.
but are helplessly floating in it. Which is weird because both of them can fly, but judging by their expressions, their slack jaws and vacant eyes, I'm going to guess that they got knocked out.
Yeah.
Not going to question how that works for the Recorder. Let's just move on.
Hey, Vision can get knocked out.
He suffered a minor EMP blast. Ooh.
Whoa.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're doing the thing again.
Found that collage shit, but I'm all about it because that looks fucking awesome.
The ship that was following them finally catches up. It seems that they saw what happened and have appeared to assist the two travelers.
Oh, it's those dudes I forgot. We didn't
The
mention
fuzzy
the dudes.
dudes.
The fuzzy dudes
Who didn't
are
seem to
the
matter.
first people that Galactus ever eated a planet about.
Yeah.
And they didn't seem to be important at the time. It was just weird that we had a digression into these weird guys.
I really could have turned that eated it joke into a Galactus thing, but I
Yeah.
completely spaced on
You
that.
coulda.
So Thor and the Recorder get sucked up through a series of pneumatic tubes and then into a chamber filled with some kind of therapeutic liquid.
Wait.
He's been
Which-
drawn to
wait,
the
hold
center
on.
of the
Which-
internet.
Hold
which
on.
isn't going to help the Recorder.
Hold on. How did they get sucked while already in the vacuum of space?
It's fine.
The internet is a series of tubes.
But you can't get sucked into a tube when you're already in the vacuum of space.
I mean, I think you can very easily do that.
There's no more vacuum to have.
If you keep your airlock empty and then poof, or you keep your airlock full of air and you can suck them in and then shut the airlock and suck them through the fucking ship.
Consider this, John. They have a big tube. So I think the conclusion is obvious.
Wait, what year is this?
68.
So most people don't know how space works.
No.
Okay.
I think this is easily doable.
It's a pneumatic tube, so it's liquid.
Yeah. So they
Ugh.
get, because as I was saying, they get sucked into a chamber full of therapeutic liquid, which isn't going to help the Recorder at all because he's a robot.
Yeah. Which we, of course, are forgetting.
Yeah, but I guess they get points for trying. So outside, Ego is still blasting Galactus with I-beams, determined to drive him back.
And Galactus in his little box.
Yeah, I was gonna say, actually, maybe it's just because he's scrunched up in his tiny ship, but I can't help feeling that the scale between these two is a little bit off.
No, that seems right. I mean, Galactus is only a certain amount high, despite the fact that he's going to eat a whole planet, right?
Yeah,
He's a bit taller than, like, skyscraper
he
height,
towers
right?
over New York. He does not tower over Ego.
I guess.
Ego's a whole ass planet. Although, he looks more like a tentacle monster here.
I guess. I just think that if he eats Ego, he's gonna look like a Looney Tunes character who swallowed a watermelon.
Also,
maybe his munchies will finally be cured.
you know that I'd make that sacrifice.
I don't think Ego would.
No.
Yeah, I don't care. That's Ego's problem.
Ooh.
Galactus flies out to get some distance before using some kind of magnet to draw a bunch of asteroids together, and then fling them at Ego.
Well, if they're iron-filled.
Cool.
The living planet is battered by a barrage of space debris, and Gal, for some reason, thinks that should just about do it.
Yep,
So
there we go.
So he pops open his convertible to gloat.
I thought he had a whole fucking process he had to do. If you kill the planet first, doesn't that not work?
We'll see.
Uh-huh.
At least until some really disgusting-looking tendrils reach out and wrap around both him and his tiny ship.
Okay. Also, that really is a tiny ship. Galactus, why is your ship so
It's
tiny?
so tiny. Well, that's like the pod that ejected from the bigger ship.
True, and Galactus is Galactus, so it's actually fucking massive.
Yeah.
I don't like Galactus' short sleeve look.
You don't want to see his guns?
His
I feel
guns are the size of buildings.
I feel like I'm more afraid of his guts than his guns.
Although, now I'm wondering, do you think he lifts? Does Galactus
What the
lift?
fuck would he lift?
That's it. That is a very... Hey, he has a ship? Where did he get the ship from?
Valid question.
I'm sure there's an answer to that somewhere in canon, but I don't know
So,
it.
I think we have a bigger... If he can have a ship, he can lift.
Fantastic Four experts out there, can you tell me what would happen? Can Galactus lift?
Can he get gains? What does Galactus' gains look
What's Galactus' workout routine like?
Because he's got guns. Look at him.
So anyway, Thor and the Recorder awaken in the medbay of their savior's ship. Putting their heads together, they quickly ascertain just what has happened, right before their benefactor arrives.
Yes, the benefactor who healed a robot with organic healers.
Yeah, the head of the orange fuzzy guys is like, hey, you guys want to kill Galactus, and we want to kill Galactus, so we should team up and kill Galactus. And the Recorder says, no, that's a bad idea. If you try to fight Galactus, you will die. That is an objective fact because I am a robot.
That's not how that works,
It
Recorder.
is! I'm a robot, my cold mechanical logic is clearly superior to yours!
The two of them introduce themselves, starting with the Recorder, who explains his function and origin.
Why the fuck is that my robot voice?
I don't know. Then Thor is like, I'm Thor, and the Wanderers are like, no more information required, we know who you are.
Why would they... I mean, clearly there are some adventures being implied that I have not heard.
Yeah,
He's been in space before.
Well, but enough
Right,
to...
enough
Not a
to
huge
have
amount.
a huge reputation.
Yeah.
He's already got the rep.
Yeah. They lead Thor up to a platform before the rest of their people, where Thor addresses them all as an ally and commander. The Wanderers are insistent on helping him fight Galactus, but much like his robotic friend, the Thunder God is hesitant to accept. They are few in number, and mere mortals besides. He's afraid that the most they could do is act as fodder to occupy Galactus for a brief moment.
Oof.
The decision is taken away from all of them, though, when one of their pilots announces they have found the World Eater. What's more, they've flown a little too close to the battle, and their ship is now being pelted with flying rocks.
Well, I guess that's just, wow, they're so round.
Yeah.
Someone was asleep at the helm.
Everyone on board scatters as Thor urges them to turn back before both he and the Recorder slip away in the chaos.
God, I love the use of color
Yeah.
for this
Colors are
whole
really
good.
issue.
Yeah.
I was gonna say...
I wish that they were crediting colorists
I
at
know.
this point in time because this is gorgeous.
I was gonna say, yeah, the color on this is wild.
They climb through a hatch, emerging outside of the vessel, and are awestruck by the scene of carnage before them. However, if anything, Thor is more determined now than ever.
Oof on that foreshortening.
Yeah, Thor, you
Not
don't,
great.
you don't look okay.
His arm is a little bit bulbous.
Mr.
His
Thortastic.
arm is a little not great. His legs are kind of...
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure how those knees work. And I think neither was the artist.
No.
I'm not sure how those hips work. I think that's the problem.
You're not
It's
wrong.
That's
one
the-
of the problems.
That's the origin of the whole issue with the legs.
Gal has broken free of the tentacles in the interim, and is now shaking his fist at Ego like a crotchety old man.
Galactus shaking his fist.
Hey, I'm walking here!
The recorder observes that Galactus is currently winning, to which Thor says the nay. He lets fly Mighty Mjolnir, which cuts straight through the battlefield to strike Galactus.
Perma circuits activated for maximum recording.
Yeah, I kind of skipped that panel.
Can I just skip something?
The recorder gets really intense. I didn't know how to describe it.
Let me not record your death!
It's very intense.
The recorder just gets really intense
with
for a
his
panel.
horrifying eyes.
Just terrible eyes. You said you were okay with those eyes before.
I'm not okay with them anymore.
Good. So, Thor lets fly with Mighty Mjolnir, which cuts straight through the battlefield to strike Galactus directly in the chest.
I like that Galactus narrates his pain.
Gal doesn't seem particularly staggered, but he is stunned at the sudden attack. Any being with strength enough to strike him must forthwith perish, he declares as he watches Mjolnir fly back to his master's hand.
For the first time in a millennium, my limbs have tasted pain! He who has the power to cause so monumental an affront
must perish forthwith!
Such is the will of Galactus.
Yeah. Yep. Just like the man said.
Galactus, do you always talk like this?
I like that
Everyone does.
I like that he's not leaping into action. He's just watching Mjolnir.
Mm-hmm.
Like, huh?
It would have been funny to see him try to grab it.
I don't think Galactus is worthy, but I don't know what would happen because they're in space.
I think it would pull him along.
It would be funny to watch Galactus.
Oh, that would be funny.
pulled
That's
by
some Looney Tunes shit.
Yes, it is.
Thor catches the hammer before flinging himself at Galactus this time.
Wait, how big is Galactus?
Okay, that's too small for Galactus.
Yeah. Delivering a blow to his big fucking head.
Which is very small for some reason.
Once again, Gal seems more annoyed than hurt, and as our hero rears back to deliver a second attack, the giant just grabs him and throws him at Ego like a projectile.
Galactus, you're bigger than that.
He's
Literally.
not much bigger than he was before, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Your hand should be bigger than Thor.
It's fine.
Also,
We've got some scale issues.
your hand grew between
it did.
panels. You guys don't know how big Galactus is, do you?
The scale is a little bit wonky.
Janky.
Well, Ego exerts his power to slow the Thunder God's trajectory before delivering him back to the Wanderer's ship. It seems that even while fighting Galactus, Ego used his power to save the bystanders.
Huh.
The recorder asks Thor if, having failed, Thor might not use his power of flight to escape. Shall Thor survive while others fall?
Yeah, I don't see him doing that.
I say thee nay!
I don't see him doing that at all.
He's not dead.
He's not that dude.
He's also not dead, so of course he's gonna go back at it.
The vibes in here are not great, as everyone except Thor has pretty much given up and accepted that they're just going to die here.
That was quick.
Yeah. Asgardians are nothing if not stubborn, though.
Yeah.
And it would be a mistake to count out the Thunder God. Together, the Wanderers construct some kind of machine that clamps onto Mjolnir's handle.
What?
Everyone else flees to a safe distance just before Thor grasps the hammer.
What is this?
Begins, I'm telling you right now, Thor grasps the hammer and begins to pour his godly strength into it. Mjolnir releases that power as a blinding bolt of cosmic force, shooting straight at Galactus, engulfing him in its rays.
You want to shoot it a super beam.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I kind of get it. It's like focused all the fucking shit.
Why did he need a mount for it?
That's what I was gonna say.
If
you read the dialogue, well, it's more of a monologue, but if you read the text here, you can see there's no mention of the machine. So it's not doing anything, it's just holding the hammer.
He needed a clamp.
Yeah, they don't actually say anything, they just say it's a stand.
Right.
Why does he need a stand for his hammer to do an ultimate attack?
I don't know.
So he can aim it like a fucking machine gun.
I guess.
Is he not skilled enough to do that without the
I
stand?
feel like he could do that on his own.
He just you gotta have the triangle power stance.
Yeah. The World Eater is hurled back towards his ship, which he retreats into before flying off into space with his tail between his legs.
They beat Galactus.
They did.
And they really beat Galactus. Like, wow.
Everyone celebrates for a moment before remembering that they're stranded on a destroyed ship on top of a living planet. Yet, as they disembark, the world begins to change before their very eyes, shifting into a verdant utopia with clean flowing waters and fertile soil.
Nice.
They wonder at the marvel before them until the shape of a man flows up from the land itself. It's Ego, projecting a humanoid form to speak with his guests. In exchange for saving him from certain doom, he offers the Wanderers a new home upon his back. Life for life, a fair exchange.
Cool.
Huh.
Like I said, he's a little more complicated than you think.
Alright.
I mean, I guess in my defense, the only version of him I know is from Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Exactly. Then, the issue ends suddenly with no further information or even a teaser for the next one.
What the fuck? That went really fast. I guess we had a lot of big splash pages.
Yeah. I feel like there should have been another page here where it's like, everyone said goodbye and then Thor went back to Asgard.
No, Thor lives on Ego now.
But I looked it up on another source and it was the same, so that's just how it is.
Just
Okay.
ends.
That was abrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Stan
I
era.
hope when we come back he's still, like, on Ego and we're not just he's back in New York without explanation. Like, oh, he just went back.
Wait, what is this called?
Galactus Aborning.
Aborning?
It's also alternatively called Galactus is Born. I don't know why they did it two different ways.
What the heck?
Because it's...
Why is... Thor, why are you playing with Galactus?
Because he can!
Oh, he's got his sleeves on again.
He does. Yeah. Also, more than that, didn't he have, like, naked thighs?
Obviously.
Well, now he doesn't.
What would you be wearing other than your naked thighs? What the fuck are pants?
So, the next thing we're gonna read is Thor number 162 from January of 1969.
Nice!
Written by Stan Lee, penciled by Jack Kirby, inked by Vince Colletta, and lettered by Sam Rosen.
The gang's all here.
With their task done, Thor and the Recorder are speeding back home. Thor is notably not using Mjolnir for this. I don't know if his robo-buddy is doing something there,
He's
or
just flying.
But he couldn't fly before, but now I guess it's fine.
if he just took a big jump and is relying on the lack of friction in space to carry his momentum all the way back. Whatever happened, the Recorder is quick to remind him, and us, that while they did succeed in repelling him, Galactus got away, and thus the universe remains in peril.
I just want to note that I hate whatever Vince Colletta did to this fucking page.
Yeah, it's not great.
Entire face cast in shadow. Entire body cast in shadow in the case of the fucking Recorder. Come the fuck on.
Yeah, it doesn't look very good. So, it's here on the second page.
Another one of these.
Another collage. Here on the second page, where the Recorder helpfully informs us that it was Ego who shot them off into space, which explains that. They can both fly on their own, but I guess they were tired.
So he just catapulted them.
He
Ego,
yeeted them off of himself.
Well, he owed them a favor, so... They are approaching the planet Rigel once more, passing the fields of satellites that defend the colonizers from outside attack.
Yeah, because colonizers usually need defense.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Wanderers now have a home. That's nice.
Yeah, the Wanderers are just living on Ego now.
Cool.
It's chill.
Until something bad happens to Ego, I imagine.
Yeah, I'm sure. Or they get forgotten immediately, I don't know.
That's what I was gonna say. They probably get
Well, that means that they could still just be there.
Yeah, they could just be there.
Any writer could bring that back.
You know, whenever they bring up Ego, which is
I don't know.
common character who is written about often.
I mean...
I've run into him.
More often than you think.
No, I've run into him, too.
I don't know if the Wanderers come again or not, but Thor and the Recorder alight back on the deck of the Rigelian space station, where Tana meets them and takes the Recorder away to the High Commissioner to give his report.
God,
That's
she's ugly.
the name of the bitch. Yeah,
That's the
she's
bitch.
Looking real bad.
She's looking pretty bad. She's very yellow this issue.
Why?
I don't know. The Commissioner says, "Hey, thanks, Thor."
Sorry about that.
Sorry, they melted her.
She looks bad. Especially because the commissioner has,
She's-
like, a normal face.
She's
Relatively
so fucking...
There's no lines. She has no lines on her
She's
face.
just wavy.
She just looks like a melted plastic
She looks
doll.
like moisturize me.
Oh God! Now we're bringing Doctor Who into this.
So the commissioner says, "Hey, thanks, Thor. Anyway, time to kill the recorder and remove his brain."
Wait, what?
Oh.
We're gonna kill the recorder?
Thor is somewhat alarmed by this and moves to defend his comrade. The commissioner is like, "Bro, it's a robot. We made him to do this, and he did it, so now we get to take him apart." Thor once again says the nay!
Hey, quick question. Why do these people make robots who don't look like them?
I don't know.
Yeah, we went over this before.
Yeah, it's a valid question.
We
though.
don't know.
But I feel like it's an important question considering there she is,
Yeah,
looking
That.
swollen.
Look
and
because
like
they
that.
know this is what peak performance looks like.
they know that they are abominations in the eyes of God. And that God is Thor.
Hey, Thor's never said anything like that.
no, he's never said they look weird. He's
He's
bro.
too nice.
He is.
Okay, that God is Loki. Who would say that?
Probably. Thor waxes poetic for a couple panels about his buddy, and the commissioner's like, "Yeah, fine, we won't kill him, whatever."
It's just a thing.
Well,
we don't
we,
care that much.
We're skipping over this dialogue. And surely as night doth follow day, him who is called recorder doth feel, doth love, and therefore there doth possesses that which men call soul.
Thor?
Like I said, he waxed poetic.
Thor, did you feel his soul?
Right, does he feel, does he know love?
Does
I mean, I like the guy, but does he?
does the robot man have a soul?
I don't think we should kill the robo dude. I'm just saying, is that really accurate?
Or is Thor projecting?
I don't know.
Well, they were convinced either way.
Tananile kisses Thor on the cheek
Ugh.
and acknowledges their newfound friendship before Thor yells at everyone to stand back while he creates a vortex to take him back to Asgard.
Right, because he can do that.
He can. As the winds calm, he stands once more on the Bifrost and is welcomed by Heimdall.
That's a good Heimdall look.
Hey, Heimdall, how do you not know who it is? You're
Always
Heimdall.
a valid question.
You're literally Heimdall. You know these things.
Heimdall says that Odin is waiting for him, which is good because they have much to discuss. Well, why wait? The Warriors 3 gallop past on their horses, with Fandral leaning down to scoop Thor up into his saddle like a waiting damsel.
I love it. I was sitting there watching that the whole time, damn.
I'm getting there.
Just get him. Yoink.
The gates to the city swing open at their approach, but Thor's mind is troubled. He can't help but feel a nagging sense that the danger has not yet passed. Hogan notes this, but doesn't know what to do about it. As they're now riding nuts to butts, Thor asks Fandral where Baldur is, because he hasn't seen him in a while. Fandral's like, "Yeah, bro, he hasn't been around. He's been kind of depressed lately."
Loki made him be evil?
Takes a toll.
You might think that would be it, but it's not.
Shocking.
Thor says that he will talk to Baldur and find out what's wrong, but first he has business with his dad. They are stopped by Torger, the cosmic counselor, who at Odin's bidding scanned the cosmos to watch Thor's battle with Galactus. He says that because Gal is still out there, they now have to watch a PowerPoint about it.
Ah, so they put the Thor-Galactus fight on the big screen.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Torger is just like a middle manager.
Yeah.
Nice to know that they put Thor v Galactus on like it was a prize fight.
Yeah, on pay-per-view. Odin enters with a whole load of pageantry, welcoming them all and congratulating his son on a battle well fought. And now I will pause so you can get everything out about Odin's outfit.
No, I still need to go back over the living omnipotence doth now approach.
Yeah.
Sure.
Jesus
But
fucking Christ.
What is this outfit? Is that 2 hats? Does he?
No, he just has a crest on the back and a crest on the front.
And a 3rd crest between them.
No, I think that's pointing forward?
I don't know.
It's a strange
He
hat.
has 3 sets of horns on his
That's
hat.
not what I want
hate
to
the
talk
chin
about.
piece.
That's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is the fact that he's wearing his beard under his fucking helmet.
Yeah, the chin strap I hate.
Who the fuck does that? If you have a beard, it goes out over.
Yeah.
Him, the living omnipotence, obviously.
Fucking fashion disaster.
And those colors.
Those colors, there are many of them.
There are.
They'd mostly be fine if we didn't have the purple.
Yeah.
But no, we have to have all of the... And what is he holding?
His scepter.
Consider Odin is colorblind.
Well, at the moment,
He knows all except for what the color green looks like.
Also, remember, he doesn't have a wife, so he doesn't have anyone to help dress him.
Single dad Odin is my favorite.
Yes, he's a
Single color dad Odin. Color dad.
What does that mean?
He's obviously not one color. Look at this outfit.
Single colorblind single dad Odin.
Who doesn't have anyone to tell him what colors go together. Also, his eyes are weirdly far apart.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a nose. I feel like that's more concerning.
That's technically his nose. He's looking up and the perspective is weird. We're doing that thing again.
Odin, too, says that this isn't over yet, so let's watch this presentation that Torture put together. Somewhere distant, a world is shattered by a bolt of force shot from the turret of the World Eater's ship.
Because we needed to see the helmet again.
Survivors flee even as Gal soaks up the energy of the destroyed planet. So this depiction of Galactus eating planets is a lot more abstract than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not quite what I'm used to with Galactus.
Seen him menace.
I guess I was expecting him to eat them like donuts or something, but
I've seen him.
No, he makes this fucking gadget that helps him eat the planet.
Right.
They've kind of standardized how he does this.
Yeah. Well, at this point, I guess it's not quite as set in stone. It's weird.
I mean, this is still the Stan Lee era. There are no rules.
We got some Kirby Crackle something fierce.
Stan clearly did not have a canon Bible.
What? Stan didn't have canon? What do you mean, a Bible? No, he doesn't even have canon. He changes things on a whim.
So that's what Gal is doing now, but Odin says they need also look into the past to view the very first planet that he devoured.
Wait, we're going to the beginning of Galactus's history?
The Wanderer's home.
The PowerPoint flips to the next slide, and they behold a dead world spinning in its orbit. They zoom into a crater, where a highly advanced city slumbers inside of the Earth. It's like built into a crevice, which I just think is a really cool way to build a city.
It's really cool. It doesn't
neat.
look like a city so much from above. That's cool.
It is neat.
Odin demands that they look even further back, so he uses his remote to flip to the next slide.
Why are we watching this?
Long ago, in a galaxy far, far away,
Technically accurate.
a monumental war occurred in the depths of space. The victors of this war set about enslaving their foes, but orbiting above them was something that Odin calls an incubacell.
What?
The type that contains a fearsome newborn life form.
Oh, okay.
You know,
he made an incel. I get it.
You know, as opposed to the other kinds of incubacells.
Oh god, there's more than one.
I don't know.
Huh.
The Conquerors open the cell, releasing Galactus from his incubation. Thus born, he begins his rampage across the galaxy, destroying everything in his path in a desperate attempt to quench his ravenous hunger.
Fog cloud obscuring his dick.
and he's got the guns out, and look at that.
The thighs out.
And the thighs out, yeah.
And the dick out, we just can't see it.
We just can't see. I don't think I want to see his dick.
So that didn't really clear up anything at all.
Also,
and Thor actually acknowledges that.
I gotta know, is any of that still canon?
I don't know. Odin then leaves without explaining anything, and the boys stand around for a minute pondering this.
Because why did we watch this? What was the point of it?
Volstagg is like, well, that was boring, let's go have dinner. And
valid.
Fandral invites Thor to join them, but Torger asks for his attention a moment longer. He explains that while the Thunder God fought Galactus, he had sensed grave danger on Earth, which Sif volunteered to deal with in Thor's absence.
Of course, she
However-
was actually allowed this time.
Yeah.
She did something important.
However, they have heard nothing from her since she left.
Uh-oh.
I mean, of course she was going to be a damsel, but
Of course. Obviously.
at least they let her go.
You're right. Balder sits up alone in bed, bone-weary, yet restless.
I like his t-shirt.
He is plagued...
Ah.
He is plagued by a newfound infatuation for someone that he would much rather hate.
You know,
These days, it seems that everywhere he looks, he sees only Karnilla. The Norn Queen has found a place in his heart after all. He has shut himself up like a teenager with a crush, writing Balder plus Karnilla in all his notebooks,
oh god.
and yet, shockingly, isolating himself isn't helping him forget about her. He decides that he needs to lose himself in battle, and maybe then he will find a measure of peace.
I like his Asgardian t-shirt.
Yeah, it is boxers.
Yes, his Asgardian t-shirt and boxers.
To that end, he proclaims that he must find Thor.
I mean, it's just a boner, dude. Chill out.
Thor, who even now is speeding back to Earth to find and defend his own lady love.
His own lady love.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This is quite a map.
Yeah, that sure is
That
North
is
America.
the Earth.
That's North America,
The
and
Earth.
with South
That-
America at
yep,
the bottom.
those are the Americas right there, tip to toe.
That little nubby thing, that's Florida. There's Baja California. That's Alaska.
You know, this looks much more just like China, What next? What on earth?
So, how would you guys rate those comics? Let's go with the first one first.
I'm gonna rate them as 1.
Oh, okay.
3.5 out of 5 for both. I mean, because it feels like a continuation.
It
I-
is.
I mean, I guess, but the second one that was basically just them going over the origin of, like, explaining Galactus's deal.
I was fine with it.
It was weird to me.
It is. This whole story is weird.
3.5.
Sure.
It was enjoyable,
I'll give them.
but a comic mostly.
I'm honestly tired of the Stan Lee era.
We're
Yeah,
getting
we
there.
can tell.
I know. This is a drum I'm probably going to bang for a while, but I am tired of the Stan Lee
This
era.
is my fault because I've given you a taste of something different.
It's true.
You've given me a taste of something later, much later in some parts,
Yeah,
where
we're now half a decade.
where
a
the
decade ahead.
where the writing is just worlds beyond what Stan the man was really doing in the late 60s.
I'm gonna have to start giving you a countdown just to sate your bloodlust.
Yeah, and even that, and I know that unlike Thor, unlike X-Men, Thor doesn't suddenly just jump ahead.
No, it does not.
So it's going to be an evolutionary process, not
Okay.
a revolutionary process.
Evolutionary, I like that.
Because, I mean, in many ways, X-Men came back and was revolutionary.
It was reborn, yeah.
But Thor just kept
Continues.
Yeah, continues.
Okay, so we just finished 162.
Correct.
So the first issue without Stan is 193.
So it's a while.
So
Ooh.
we've got like 31 issues.
You led me to believe that it was sooner than that.
I don't remember.
Oh no, so I'm not the only one who
I
was thinking
believed
about
we
this.
were out of the Stan miasma quite a bit sooner than this.
No, sir.
Oh,
Not
no.
until 1971.
Oh god.
Ooh, alrighty.
When
Buckle in, folks.
When our boy Jerry Conway takes over.
Holy shit, Stan held on for a long time.
I told you Thor was his baby.
Stan loved Thor. Thor was his favorite, if I
Mhm.
recall.
Yes, Thor was his pet
Huh.
project.
I couldn't tell, honestly.
I mean, he's been on this longer than any of the other ones.
I mean,
Fair.
okay, think about it this way. Thor is so fucking random and out there to have as
It
as a
is.
superhero.
It is, and he does random and out there things.
He can do just that, whatever you want with him.
And he fought fucking Galactus.
Yeah. So
What?
when you think about it that way, it makes more sense. Thor was Stan's baby, and
Thor has no rules.
yeah, he just is whatever Stan wants him to be.
He can throw his hammer faster than time.
Yep.
Is that? Can he really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Explicitly.
I hate that. Stan, I hate that.
He can do that. That's a Thor fact.
Thor is a Mary Sue.
Oh god, that starts getting cursed. Stan Lee's Mary Sue.
So that's all the comics that I have prepared, but we have something else to talk about for a little bit.
She-Hulk,
The first
attorney at law.
Yeah, spoilers ahead for the first episode of She-Hulk if you haven't watched it yet.
And it's kind of a weird episode to spoil, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it was just
Origin.
Yeah,
Backstory.
That's what makes it weird to spoil.
Yeah.
Because it is doing the origin backstory thing, which...
So I gotta say, what they came up with to give Jen powers is...
Stupid.
Way stupider than what I understand it to have been in the comics.
I mean,
I wish they had just kept it the way that it was.
What I understand it to have been in the comics was kind of stupid as well.
Much less stupid.
So let's see. What do I remember most from She-Hulk? I felt some character assassination about Tony and Steve.
I don't think it's character assassination that say that Steve Rogers fucks.
I don't know.
Steve Rogers fucks, and Tony and Bruce were weirdly homoerotic.
I mean, that's consistent.
That's true.
But yeah, Tony Stark, who never got to tackle his alcoholism.
Yeah, that was what the fuck was that all about?
Yeah, that's what I'm really talking about.
Because the MCU was really weird about it, and like they showed it on screen but refused to acknowledge it or do anything about it. It was so fucking weird.
It's only one of the
largest
really character traits about him.
It's
right?
really a disappointment because Iron Man 3 is one of my favorite entries in the MCU.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen them do something about it in that.
But no, he was an alcoholic. He lived a life of an alcoholic. He died the life of an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's dead forever.
Yep.
Cool.
So
that's cool.
So that's Steve Rogers fucks.
But Steve Rogers fucks.
I mean, what the fuck? Was he supposed to sit locked up in his room?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Just fucking waiting for the dance with his dead gal? Like, Jesus Christ. Let the man fuck.
I mean, what they specifically said is that he fucked before.
Right, before they were even a thing. I mean, like, he had a crush and they had chemistry, but, like, it wasn't a thing.
It sounds like that one girl who made out with him might have been the one.
I didn't even think about that. Fuck.
Yeah, there was a girl. There was a girl.
No, because she was after the USO tour.
Oh, God, he fucked even earlier.
He fucked before that.
He fucked during the USO tour. He did.
All the hot goss on Steve Rogers' sex life.
Yes, that's
the takeaway from She-Hulk.
I mean, and those poor
Titania
CG
had a look.
She did.
Those poor CG artists. Oh, Bruce, you were looking rough.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the more legitimate criticisms of the MCU, but I think it's more about Disney, personally.
It is very much about Disney. The writers were doing their best, but they can't fix how Disney treats these people.
Disney has practices where they like to over-rely on CGI, and the reason behind that is because it's cheaper.
Yes.
And it is cheaper because prop departments and costuming departments have unions.
Mm-hmm.
CGI studios do not have unions.
They need unions so they can balance things out.
So Disney likes to over-rely on CGI because it is cheaper, because they can overwork CGI artists for less money, and that is why She-Hulk looks bad. So I can't stand all of the people who are just like, She-Hulk looks so bad, because it's like,
There's a reason,
and it's not the artist's fault, so maybe do something about it.
And let's acknowledge the fact that, I mean, this is also not beneficial to us as consumers. I mean, you guys have covered well the fact that it's not beneficial for the artist, but it's not beneficial for us because where you can do practical effects, they look better.
Yeah.
So if you're doing them in places where you don't need them, like, obviously you need CGI to do the Hulks.
To do
the
Hulks, you got it.
There's all kinds of shit you can do outside of it.
I think we should bring back Lou Ferrigno with body paint.
I mean, he'd prefer it that way.
He would. That was a joke. Don't do that.
Lou Ferrigno with body paint.
There are some things you can't do without CGI, but there's absolutely no reason to use CGI for all of the backgrounds and sets and all of the costumes.
Right.
Like, it's ridiculous.
They do that so much.
They do it a lot.
I've seen so much CG where it doesn't belong.
And you hear about how these actors are so glad when they can act in front of these things that are effectively just like the painted back screens that they used to use in Hollywood past. And they are so glad to get any idea of what the fuck they're standing in front of.
Well, yeah, that's because they've been robbed of anything to act against.
So instead of complaining about how bad She-Hulk looks, organize your CGI artists.
Alright, I got them all in a folder, A to Z. What next?
Organize as in unionize.
Let's see, the other takeaway, girls make better Hulks.
I liked her, honestly. She was fun.
And that was fun.
It was fun. It was the right amount of comedy, I think.
Yes.
They also did the classic She-Hulk thing where she broke the fourth wall.
Which is
glad for that. Glad we're not only having Deadpool do that.
I don't know if you noticed when we were watching it, but she does it first at the beginning of the episode, but actually chronologically the first time she does it after she becomes a Hulk, she looks at the camera and then looks confused and looks back at the camera like she didn't know she could do that.
I don't know if you noticed.
I did not notice
but
that.
Bruce noticed her breaking the fourth wall.
He did. He
I
noticed
did not
it and
notice
was
that
confused.
He was confused, so who knows what it means.
I just wish She-Hulk was longer.
Yeah, I wish it was longer because it was only 30 minutes.
It felt very short.
Huh, I didn't realize it was that short.
It was pretty short. You wanted to talk about Titania. Titania was there.
Yeah, Titania had a look that I didn't expect.
Lady that She-Hulk fought in the courtroom.
That was the woman who came through the wall.
Yes, that was Titania.
Well, yeah, we're gonna have to run into Titania eventually.
Oh yeah, she's gonna show up in Thor a lot because she hooks up with our boy, Carl.
Yeah.
Okay!
They're an item. That's a thing.
They're a hot item.
Wait, does that mean that we might see Carl and She-Hulk?
Probably.
He's not.
I've never considered that possibility.
Remember, he's not a mutant. So he's almost certainly fair game.
Alright, let's see it.
Titania implies the existence of Carl.
Does it?
Does.
I mean, potentially, but I don't know if it necessarily implicitly.
She's gotta get her mans.
I like the female wrestler look. That's a good look.
Yeah, I loved her look. She was also played by, I might be pronouncing this wrong, Jamila Jamil? I think that's her name.
Oh.
Who was in The Good Place.
I didn't recognize her. Holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
I did not watch The Good Place.
I did what you should.
I know, but there are a lot of things I should watch and don't watch.
Yeah.
I know.
Watching things is hard.
Watching things is hard. Imagine the emotional toll.
Yeah.
Seems like it has potential. The writing isn't terrible.
I want to see more.
Yeah, I do too.
I was enjoying myself. I just wish there were more of it.
Mm-hmm.
There will be. Just give it time.
But if I have to get it in 30-minute doses, I don't want that.
Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap up.
Alright, well, that's going to be it for us this week. We're going to be back at you next week again with the X-Men. If you Fantastic Four experts out there want to shoot us an email about Galactus, go ahead and do that at comicsplaining@gmail.com. You can also find us over on social media. We are Comicsplaining on Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
We have a few posts on Instagram.
So that technically counts.
But if you'd like to help the show, the most important thing you can do is rate and review us on your podcatcher of choice. But if you'd like to support the show financially, you can also go on to our Patreon, where we now have our monthly bad comic bonusodes, or I don't know, I don't want to call them bad comic bonusodes, because they're not necessarily all bad comics.
Weird
comics. Call them comic-sodes for now.
Mm-hmm.
But we put those out monthly for those at the $5 a month tier. We also have early access to the shows, so join us over there. But if you just want to throw a couple bucks our way, we also have a coffee. We also have a video version of the show over on YouTube where you can see clips about the stuff we're talking about. There was some fairly impressive art this issue, so it'd be cool to see some of that.
Impressive art, terrible art, bit of one, bit of the other.
So, like, subscribe, and hit the bell button over on YouTube.
And leave a comment. Yeah, sure.
Yes.
We'll talk with you.
If you join us over on Discord, we want to actually have something of a comic book club where you read the comics along with us and tell us what you think. We'll talk about it with you, and we think that would be a pretty good time. So join us over on Discord. We leave a link to that in our show description every week. But apart from that, we're going to be back with you next time, and we look forward to talking to you then. Bye!